All right. So let's see. What do I notice?
It's a rat.
Okay. So we got Lou Williams, Kawhi Leonard, reverse layup on the other side of the basket. So let's rewind that. Let's slow it down so I can take a look. All right. So gets the ball. He's looking, but doesn't find anything. Makes the pass well before half court. So that's like chest pass. Let's see. This is a single line pass. Fully committed. Yeah, pretty much. But look at how far that pass is coming from. Like, look, how many people when they're doing passing drills, aside from just like some skill development, not skill development, in skill development, but how many people are doing passes from that distance apart? Like actually practicing those passes, you know? I'm curious how many people do it. Yes, it's easy to do it during transition, but when you're doing skill development, individualized work, how many people are making that pass? So that's something that you can throw into training for sure. Let's go a little bit further. So we got this guy sealing. Who is this? I can't even see who that is. I am totally unsure about who that is, but it doesn't matter. So we've got Kawhi Leonard. I'll talk about that play in a second. We have this gentleman right here who's sealing in transition. So that's a very good way of just getting the ball in the paint as quickly as possible. Now, if he was looking, maybe he sees that pass. Maybe he drives to this gap as opposed to passing it. And then um, uh, Terry, oh, blinking on his name. But anyway, Scary Terry would have to commit to him or give up the ball. But then if he did drive into this gap, this gentleman will be open for a lob, easily open for a lob. So that's something you can work on in transition, which is, or maybe not. I don't know if you do it in transition, but this is an important play, I think. And looking for that would be very helpful. But in terms of working on a skill, if we're talking about scoring, and I've done this with players before, but you would work on sealing, catching the ball, and with absolutely no dribbling at all, score a layup. It can be off the backboard, it can be clean, no rim, no backboard. It doesn't matter. It can be a shot fake and some other shot. But that right there is an opportunity for some kind of a post play skill development work. That right there, just a seal, catch, catch a lob, and then you score. So if you're not able to do that, like with no defense, or if you're not able to do that with zero defense, catch the ball, turn and score, sometimes all in one motion if you want to save time and be efficient. If you can't do that, what are you going to do with a defender on you? What are you going to do with a defender and then somebody in the back just spying on you? So, whatever. But that's a skill offensively that I think will be very, very helpful and something to work on. All right, so he catches the ball. Scary Terry's got to get back into the play. Still sealing him. Doesn't necessarily have to drive to the basket, but in this case he does. And he changes his pacing too. So he's going, drives to the basket, and then he dips his shoulders, double clutches in midair while kind of going around, and then scores the basket. Now, that's clearly a drill that you can do or work on as part of, a comprehensive um, basketball training program. No, I kind of think I was talking about this in other videos, but um, don't think that as a player, or it doesn't make sense as a player to say, all right, well, I'm only going to do this skill. I'm only going to do this iteration of the skill. And it doesn't make any sense because the situations and circumstances change and you have to adapt to whatever the hell's going on in the game. Heck is going on in the game. So if you can't adapt to what's going on, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. So what does that mean for skill development? You need to increase variety of skill development so that you're able to adapt to whatever the hell's going on. So does that mean that means you can do this drill? You can do a variety of other drills. That's one of the cool things. This principle, if you will, would be very, very helpful for someone who's just learning the game. So yes, I learned this. Okay, what about on the other side? What about with your left hand? What about with your right hand? And then you start to build up a repertoire, and then you start to develop your skills. In this case, if you're making layups, is you're developing your dexterity. So that becomes very, very helpful. But in the case of Kawhi Leonard, him scoring on this side, well, then why wouldn't you go to the opposite side of the court and say, let me work on that? Why wouldn't you go instead of from this slot, right, or not slot, but instead from this driving lane, instead go a little bit further up, maybe free throw line extended. Why wouldn't you do that? And if you did it on that side, why wouldn't you do it on the opposite side? I don't know, but that's just kind of how my mind works. My mind doesn't say, all right, if I master this skill, I'm good. My mind says, okay, let me master this. Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? So that's what I think of when I see that particular play. And then from a conditioning standpoint, you can have a loop. Let's see. So you can have, again, I've said this before, but you can have cones up here on the court at the different driving lanes. And so he catches the ball. So maybe you start with somebody behind the half court line, they're passing it to him. And then once he catches the ball, which chances are he's going to catch it about the 3-point line. That's one dribble. It doesn't matter, what happens. That's one flipping dribble. They have to get around that cone. One dribble from around that cone. Bam. You make your layup. You make your move. Now it's going to force them to be more efficient with their dribbles, but they can do it from here. Then they can do it from here. Then they can do it from the opposite side. Same deal. And you can say, all right, I want you to do 10. And I want you to go 10 for 10, or I want you to make 10 in a row. I think this is the best way to say, all right, I want you to make 10 in a row, or 5 in a row, or 20 in a row, whatever. And I think that would be very good conditioning, and it's very sports specific conditioning. So when you get into the season, they should be getting to that. You should get one dribble inside that cone, and you're good. You should be able to make it. Women, men, boy, girl. I mean, if you're talking about elementary school and lower, probably not, but depends on their level of development. But if you're in high school, you're a sophomore or above. If you're in college, if you can't do that, you should probably sit on the bench. I don't care. You can't do that. I don't care. In this day and age, you're sitting on the bench if you can't do that. You should be able to take one dribble from the 3-point line and score, whether it's a dunk, or a layup. No way you don't. No way you're not able to do that. No way. No way. Okay. But that's when we could have gotten from a conditioning standpoint. So let me just back up, start from the beginning one more time to see if there's anything else I can see. It's just sprinting. Like this guy sprints and then gets position. And then when I was talking about posting, the same thing can be the case. You can have one person with dummy bags right here, and their whole job is to sprint literally from here to there. Then the dummy bag person turns around, so the dummy bag person could be right here. They run around that person and then back them up or bury them up, go walk them back, right? About a foot or whatever. And the person with the bag is actually resisting a little bit. They bury them out and then catch the ball. That's more sport specific. You can do it on a loop too. So you can have all the bigs, literally all the bigs. You have the guards over on this side and the bigs on this side, and you can have just this endless loop with one person with a dummy bag. You can have them switch, but it may take you a little bit of time. But if you have an extra coach, you can totally have one person right here in the middle, or you can have two, whatever. I don't care. But you need a passer, and you can have them pass to each other. It doesn't matter. The passing will be quick and efficient. The dummy bag exchanging it might take up a little bit of time, so it may end up costing you about 5 minutes. So it may not be worth it, to be honest. If you had a coach, an extra coach, perfect. I think perfect. Um, but yeah, so you can have that person sprinting from there, and they have the line of the players right here, and then have one coach right there, and then have them work on that skill. And then you can change it up. I don't know how I would change it up right now. So I don't really want to think that far. I just want to look at this. All right, what do we got? Boom. Boom. So what is Geraldo? Nothing. Nothing right now. Nothing. Oh, so something I thought that was really cool. All right, so how many players, when they're defending somebody, foul midair? To be able um, to contest the shot. I forget who this is. Looks like Malik Monk, but I'm not entirely sure. But to be able to jump in midair, like he's about to do, not foul, but still contest the shot, that's impressive. And how do you teach that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But to be able to teach that would be super, super helpful. So maybe I can make a video on that, but I think that would be super helpful. But again, it's kind of like the mirror drill, just being able to mirror what that person is doing. You're essentially their mirror image defensively. And you just have to try to make things difficult for them. That's all I can actually say. I mean, that would be a great principle. Uh, I can go into my philosophy on defense, but it's not worth it right this second. Plus, I want to end this a little bit early. They usually, these videos are going like 30, 40, 50 minutes. So I think I get the point. I think people are getting the point, or would get the point. But I can't think of anything else that sticks out to me. Let's just play this. Oh, let me back up. Let's see. Boom, one. How many dribbles? He can one. That's two dribbles. So he's literally going. He's going from. And I think. Oh no! I just think about this. So also, being able to pass the ball from here into a finishing position. So on this side, on the opposite side of the court, they should be able to pass it from here to this position on the opposite side of the court. They should. If I'm here on the other side of this court, I should be able to pass that to my teammates. If he can't do that, that's one less skill you have to deploy during a game. So suddenly now I have to get closer to half court to make a pass for a layup in transition. So this is where, oh shoot, you need to get stronger. If you can't do that, you need to get stronger. So that would be super, super helpful. But that's all I'm thinking right now. And then he was taking, I was looking at the amount of dribbles before the pass, but I don't have anything to say on that one. Yeah, so, but again, just the amount of sprinting that's important, like being able to get from baseline to baseline as fast as possible, as often as possible, would be super helpful. And the hard part is you're playing, in the case of college, 40 minutes. If you play in the pros, it's a little bit, I think, 40, is it 12-minute quarters? Yeah, so definitely significantly above the 40-minute threshold. And even in high school, like I think they're playing 30 minutes, I believe. I have to double check. But as low as 30 and as high as like 48 minutes. So you need to be able to sprint that time. It's not 2 minute mile it up. You need to be able to sprint from one position on the court to another position on the court. And the most that you can do in one given possession, on average, I guess, is sprinting from baseline to baseline. Because chances are you're going to be in the paint at some point. If you're playing defense, your chances are you're going to be somewhere in this paint. You need to be able to sprint from essentially that area all the way back to the baseline, or at least the painted area. And no, you're not doing it one time. It's not an isolated incident. You're doing it multiple times during the game, right? Now, each possession is about 30 seconds, so you're moving around, moving around, moving around. If you're on defense, you're recovering, you're sprinting, you're closing out, you're shuffling, backpedaling, and all that stuff. And then on top of that, if you do get the ball, and if you get it on offense, chances are you're going to try to see if you can score. Now, you got to run maximum speed again after having done shuffling, backpedaling, and sprinting at maximum effort. So, yeah, you need to be able to repeat those short anaerobic creatine phosphate, for my science people, efforts, and then repeat it. Now, there's some downtime. Generally speaking, if you're on the weak side, you're not moving as much, so you get a little blow. Sometimes you get timeouts, sometimes there's fouls, sometimes there's subs and all that stuff. So there are stoppages in play, but ultimately you're sprinting maximum effort over and over and over again over the course of over 94 feet. So for someone to go out and do some kind of endurance event primarily for conditioning makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. You're sprinting, you're shuffling, you're backpedaling, you're transitioning between all of those activities. And then after doing that, you're sprinting again to the other end of the court and doing the same thing. Yes, it's a long duration activity. Basketball's long duration activities, but they're short bursts of maximum effort activities. It's not low intensity, it's high intensity efforts. So you need to prepare your body for those efforts. But it also means that now this is where the endurance stuff comes in. You still need to build up your aerobic endurance so that can help with recovery. But that's not the primary engine of the activity of basketball. But whatever. Just something to think about. All right. So this video's done.